Hey, friends. Listen, we are live for day 11 of Back to School with PBJ. And our goal is to give you the strategies so that you can have the best school opening you've ever had. Listen, this is dedicated to my educators this month in July. I know if you've been out of work, you're going back to work. I know even if you've been to work, the ramp up is happening, and we know what August means. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to go back with the same overwhelm and burnout that August normally brings. So I'm coming every night with a spoonful of PBJ to equip you, to prepare you to go back with peace. Tonight, day 11, we are talking about how to change the narrative. So we've been checking our backpack so that we can figure out what this brilliance is. And last night, I encouraged you to identify the stories that you've told yourself that determine how you show up and where this pressure comes from. Tonight, I want to teach you how to change the narrative. Change the narrative concerning your story. So, let me tell you what I mean. Last night, I told you that we as human beings, we create stories naturally, especially when there's a gap in information. When there's something we don't know, we fill that void with whatever we can come up with. And most of the time, what we come up with is worse than the truth, right? So, I want to equip you to analyze the stories that you tell yourself, and how do you change the narrative, and also how do you create transformation. I'll tell you where this comes from for me. I have been in a battle with my health ever since burnout. I abandoned all of my wellness activities at one time and focused only on work. So now I'm in a state of recovering from the damage that I did. And I've watched the videos, and I've followed the trainers, and I've read the books and ebooks. And y'all, I have enough information right now to lose all the weight. I promise you. I have all the information that I need to lose every pound that I want to lose. But knowing the information hasn't been enough. We always tell people, if you know better, you do better. And I'm here to tell you that's not the truth. Because all of us know enough right now to change our life, to move into the direction we desire, to change the world. We know enough. It's not what you know. That's not the secret. So let me walk you through and tell you how to change the narrative, but how to act on what you know, right? So when you're working through your stories, I told you to identify truth. This is what you do with that truth. And I want to teach you head, heart, hands. Head, heart, hands. Okay. This is the process for transformation. This is the process for changing the narrative, because until you change the story in your head, it will never show up in your actions. It'll never show up in your hands. So let's start with head. Head represents your knowledge and awareness. You have to be aware. That's why exposure is so important. That's why representation is so important, because you need to see it. You need to be aware that it exists. So your awareness, your knowledge may come from training. It may come from podcasts. It may come from books. It may come from a coach or a mentor, but you need to have the information. One of the reasons why I'm sharing with you this month is to equip you, to give you this information, to say that time management, resilience, work-life balance, none of that is going to disrupt your burnout. But these strategies that I'm teaching you, these strategies will disrupt your burnout. This is knowledge. Everything starts with knowledge. Everything starts with your head. But remember, I told you, just because you know it doesn't mean you're going to do it, right? But head is the first step. So what's the next step? What really makes things change? Heart is what makes things change. Your heart is for belief. You will never do what you know until you believe it's true. You will never see what you desire until you believe it's true. And not just believing it's true, but you have to believe it's true for you. There are a lot of people that you can look around and see, and you can see evidence in their life. But if you don't think that those same truths are true for you, if you don't believe it for you, then it'll never show up in your hands. So you have to start believing what you know. And here's how you believe. You got to confess it. You have to say it. And you have to say it before you believe it. As you begin to say what you know, as you begin to say the truth, that truth becomes a part of you and it will show up in your hands. Most of the time we try to skip heart. We try to immediately take what we know and do something with it. Take what we know and do something with it. But the problem is it will never sustain and it never sticks. And you get frustrated with yourself because you tried over and over and over, and you're never consistent with it. And I'm here to tell you the reason why you're not consistent is because you don't believe it yet. When you believe something, you don't have to force it. When you believe something, it flows naturally from you. When you believe something, you'll be consistent in it. So there are a lot of things that you know, but you don't believe it's true for you yet. So the key is you got to get it from your head to your heart. And the way you do that is from your mouth. You will have exactly what you say. Hear me today. If you haven't heard anything I've said for these last 11 nights, I need you to hear this. You will have exactly what you say. And you need to say it before you believe it. Whatever you confess will be your reality. So if you want to increase your health and your wellness, then you will confess, I'm a healthy woman. I am a healthy man. I make healthy choices for my body. I believe I prioritize wellness. It may not be what you're living in today, but the more you say it, the closer you're going to get to it. And you can jump in to try this and try that, and that's fine. But I'm here to tell you the sustainability of it, the progress of it, the results of it is going to be as you begin to believe it. The more you say it, the more you're going to believe. I would challenge you to say today that your reality, whatever your existence is today, is the result of what you said yesterday, what you said consistently yesterday, or years ago, or last month. Whatever you're living in today is the fruit of what you've already said. So you need to, if you want something different, you have to say something different, right? So the head stands for knowledge and awareness. Heart stands for belief. And I believe by saying it out of my mouth. And then belief turns into action. Head, heart, hands. It will never show up in your hands until you believe it in your heart. So I want to challenge you. What are those stories that you're carrying? What's the truth? And start confessing the truth so that you can see the change in your life. And I will say this, y'all, if you've been following me, you know who I am. I believe that the word of God is the truth. And so what I confess aligns with his word. And the more that I confess what aligns with his word, the more I see it in my life. So I encourage you tonight to change the narrative. Take what's in your head, what you know that's true, confess it with your mouth so you start believing it in your heart. And the more you believe it, you're going to see it manifest in your hands. It'll show up in your actions. All right, y'all, tomorrow night I'm coming back to talk to you about rest. You need to know how to rest. You don't know. You don't know how to rest. And I'm going to teach you how to rest in the midst of busy. Okay, so make sure you meet me here tomorrow night again at 7 p.m. And also, if you have not grabbed your free sample of my new book, I've read a chapter to you. Go to patricebucknerjackson.com/book. Grab your free sample. All right, y'all, let's keep walking this thing out. Let me know what questions are coming up for you as we do this. I'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to continue getting you ready for the best school opening you've ever had. Good night, everybody.